Chapter 35. He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enow. He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering. He that requiteth a good turn offereth fine fleur, and he that jeweth alms sacrificeth praise. To depart from wickedness is a thing pleasing to the Lord, and to forsake righteousness is a propitiation. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord. For all these things are to be done, because of the commandment. The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savour thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall ne'er be forgotten. Guide the Lord his honor with a good eye, and diminish not the first fruits of thine hands. In all thy gifts shew a cheerful countenance, and dedicate thy tithes with gladness. Jew unto the Most High, according as he hath enriched thee, and as thou hast gotten, Jew with a cheerful eye. For the Lord recompenseth, and will jew thee soon times as much. Do not think to corrupt with gifts, for such he will not receive, and trust not to righteous sacrifices, for the Lord is judge, and with him is no respect of persons. He will not accept any person against a poor man, but will hear the prayer of the oppressed. He will not despise the supplication of the fatherless, nor the widow when she poureth out her complaint. Doth not the tears run down the widow's cheeks? And is not her cry against him that causeth them to fall? He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with for, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds, and till it come nigh he will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold to judge righteously, and execute judgment. For the Lord will not be slack, neither will the mighty be patient towards them, till he hath smitten in sunder the loins of the merciful, and repaid vengeance to the heathen, till he have taken away the multitude of the proud, and broken the scepter of the righteous, till he have rendered to every man according to his deeds, and to the works of men according to their devices, till he have judged the cause of his people, and made them to rejoice in his mercy. Mercy is seasonable in the time of affliction, as clouds of rain in the time of drought.
Chapter 36. How merciful verses, O Lord God of all, and behold verses. And send thy fear upon all the nations that seek not after thee. Lift thee thy hand against the strange nations, and let them see thy power. As thou wast sanctified in verses before them, so be thou magnified among them before verses. And let them know thee as we have known thee, that there is no God, but only thou, O God. Shew new sickness, and make other strange wonders. Glorify thy hand and thy right arm, that they may set forth thy wondrous works. Raise indignation, and pour out wrath. Take away the adversary, and destroy the enemy. Make the time short, remember the covenant, and let them declare thy wonderful works. Let him that escapeth be consumed by the rage of the fire, and let them perish that oppress the people. Smite in sunder the heads of the rulers of the heathen, that say, there is none other but we. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them, as from the beginning. O Lord, have mercy upon the people that is called by thy name, and upon Israel, whom thou hast named thy firstborn. O be merciful unto Jerusalem, thy holy city, the place of thy rest. Fill Shion with thine unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory. Do testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise prophets that have been in thy name. Reward them that wait for thee, and let thy prophets be found faithful. O Lord, hear the prayer of thy servants, according to the blessing of Aaron o'er thy people, that all they which dwell upon the earth may know that thou art the Lord, the eternal God. The belly devoureth all meats, yet is one meat better than another. As the palate tasteth divers kinds of venison, so doth an heart of understanding false speeches. A froward heart causeth heaviness, but a man of experience will recompense him. A woman will receive every man, yet is one daughter better than another. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man lueth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander vp and down mourning. Who will trust a thief well appointed, that skippeth from city to city? So who will believe a man that hath no house, and lodgeth wheresoe'er night taketh him?
Chapter 37. Uri friend saith, I am his friend also, but there is a friend which is only a friend in name. Is it not a grief unto death, when a companion and friend is turned to an enemy? A wicked imagination. Whence camest thou in to cower the earth with deceit? There is a companion, which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble will be against him. There is a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh thee the buckler against the enemy. Forget not thy friend in thy mind, and be not mindful of him in thy riches. Uri counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee, and save unto thee, thy way is good, and afterward he stand on the other side, to see what shall befall thee. Consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange, nor with a buyer of selling, nor with an envious man of thankfulness, nor with a merciful man touching kindness, nor with a slothful for any work, nor with an hireling for a year of finishing work, nor with an idle servant of much business. Hearken not unto these in any matter of counsel, but be continually with a godly man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord, whose mind is according to thy mind, and will sorrow with thee, if thou shalt miscarry. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it. For a man's mind is sometime wont to tell him more than sewen watchmen, that sit about in an high tower. And above all this pray to the Most High, that he will direct thy way in truth. Let reason go before Uri enterprise, and counsel before Uri action. The countenance is a sign of changing of the heart. For manner of things appear, good and evil, life and death, but the tongue ruleth o'er them continually. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. There is one that showeth wisdom in words, and is hated. He shall be destitute of all food. For grace is not due in him from the Lord, because he is deprived of all wisdom. Another is wise to himself, and the fruits of understanding are commendable in his mouth. A wise man instructeth his people, and the fruits of his understanding fail not. A wise man shall be filled with blessing, and all they that see him shall count him happy. The days of the life of man may be numbered, but the days of Israel are innumerable. A wise man shall inherit glory among his people, and his name shall perpetual. My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is you'll for it, and do not that unto it. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath Uri soul pleasure in Uri thing. Be not insatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy fond meats. For excessive meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. By surfeiting how many perished? But he that taketh heed prolongeth his life.
Chapter 38. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for this is which you may how of him, for the Lord hath created him. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift vp his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he hath drew in men's skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such doth he heal men, and taketh away their pains. Of such doth the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end, and from him is peace o'er all the earth. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. Loa from sin, and order thy hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. Do a sweet sore, and a member on a fine floor, and make a fat offering as not being. Then do place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him, let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. There is a time when in their hands there is good success. For they shall also pray unto the Lord, that he would prosper that which they do, for ease and remedy to prolong life. He that sinneth before his Maker, let him fall into the hand of a physician. My son, let tears fall down o'er the dead, and begin to lament as if thou hadst suffered great harm thyself, and then cover his body according to the customary, and neglect not his burial. Weep bitterly, and make great moan, and say lamentation as he is worthy, and that a day or two, lest thou be ill spoken of, and then comfort thyself for thy holiness. For of holiness cometh death, and the holiness of the heart breaketh strength. In affliction also sorrow remaineth, and the life of the poor is the curse of the heart. Take no holiness to heart, throw it away, and remember the last end. Forget it not, for there is no turning again. Thou shalt not do him good, but hurt thyself. Remember my judgment, for thine also shall be so. Yesterday for me, and today for thee. When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest, and be comforted for him, when his spirit is departed from him. The wisdom of a learned man seemeth by opportunity of leisure, and he that hath idle business shall become wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plough, and that glorieth in the goad, that drayeth oxen, and is occupied in their labors, and whose talk is of bullocks? He draweth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to dew the keen fodder. So you carpenter and workmaster that laboureth night and day, and they that cut and grow seals, and are diligent to make great variety, and do themselves use to counterfeit imagery, and watch to finish a work. The smith also sitting by the anvil, and considering the iron work, the vapour of the fire wasteth his flesh, and he fighteth with the heat of the furnace. The noise of the hammer and the anvil is in his ears, and his eyes look still on the pattern of the thing that he maketh. He setteth his mind to finish his work, and watches to polish it perfectly. So doth the potter sitting at his work, and turning the wheel about with his feet, who is always carefully set at his work, and maketh all his work by number. He fashioneth the clay with his arm, and boweth down his strength before his feet. He applieth himself to lead it hour, and he is diligent to make clean the furnace. All these trust to their hands, and every one is wise in his work. Without these cannot a city be inhabited, and they shall not dwell where they will, nor go up and down. They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the edges sit, nor understand the sentence of judgment. They cannot declare justice and judgment, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken. But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft.